Welcome to episode 64 of the Champagne Comedy Podcast, where we talk about the best Australian comedy show from the 90s ever made, Frontline, and other D-Generation comedy tidbits. My name is Matt, and joining this podcast today is Alison, Daniel, and Kim.
Hey, it's a bit full of the
game. Yeah, do. And we have a very special guest reviewer who has returned for more bruising and scrutinising. It's VHS Reviews, David M. Green.
Hello. Yay. Good to be back.
And you're coming to us live, at the time of this recording, live to us from a different part of the world.
Yes, I'm in Stockholm, or just outside Stockholm in Sweden. Because you like to record on a Saturday night, and usually I work Saturday nights, so I thought I'd just do this while I'm on holiday, so, kill two birds with one stone sort of thing.
All our listeners, this is the sacrifices that we make just to get our 10 listeners going and downloading.
And 2 days ago, I was on the 3AW overnight show, which was also very convenient because it was 1 a.m. in the morning in Melbourne, but only 5 p.m. here, so... Yeah, trip's paid for itself.
Amazing. There you go, tax write-off.
Exactly, yeah.
It's good to hear that you're on the campaign trail plugging your new season of VHS Review.
That's what it's like. Finally, I actually have something to plug. So yeah, and thanks for having me on as well.
I just want to say it was a cracker of a first episode and a helpful reminder that in the 90s, people used the phrase in the 90s an awful, awful lot. There's a fabulous clip of something called Crime in the 90s, which I don't remember, but I'm sure was an amazing television program.
Yeah. Oh, well, it was an easy thing to say, wasn't it? The 90s. And then we crossed into the 2000s and, we didn't really have an agreed upon name for the decade. There was, the 2000s, but does that mean the whole century? And then there was, some people said the noughties, but that didn't really sound right. So yeah, you see.
And then there was the very nerdy sounding Y2K.
But before then, it was just beyond 2000. We were just thinking of when it was, what was going to be beyond.
The new millennium. Today we're going where VHS Review has never gone before. Recorded off Sydney's Channel 9, Brisbane's Channel 7, Melbourne's Channel 10. Boy, it's all happening on the ABC, isn't it?
I know. Let's have some fun. Let's nibble Nobby's nuts.
Not to be confused with Dobby's nuts, which are frankly disgusting.
I agree.
Wattle's Solar Guard.
That's not even the biggest horse's ass to appear in a paint commercial that year.
Trust British paints? Sure can.
This food could be a time bomb.
Today's game shows have got nothing on 90s game shows.
The Russian measles have hit town.
Is that so?
Russian measles, yes.
What's happening?
Well, you break out into tiny red squares.
You're a legend, mate.
World of sport, wide world of sport, sports world, Australian commercial television. So much variety.
Making the good moves in lubrication.
Sorry.
What will you do when you win the pools?
What the hell is that? All will be revealed. Let's VHS Review.
So much in there.
Zing.
Yeah.
Just that trailer reminded me. It's good to have the return of Norman Vine into proceedings.
Yeah, he makes a couple of appearances. The wig still almost fits. But yeah, we're doing some things that I haven't looked at before. So we've got a couple of tapes from the 70s, and there's some very strange stuff on that, on those. And looking at one of the tapes has some ABC stuff on it. So I haven't looked at the ABC before because usually, I like to focus on the commercials because they seem to be the funniest, the most interesting things. But yeah, and managed to find something weird and funny on a very old tape from the ABC from like the early 80s.
I have a nerdy Norman Vine question. Is that an Adelaide Oval tie that he wears? Because it's South Australian colours, isn't it, the tie?
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know where I got. I think that might have been a gift from someone. But
yeah, I just wondered because I just the colours are South Australian colours, and I thought, oh, is that an Adelaide Oval?
Well, that
tie?
makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not from Adelaide Oval though. There's one tie from the Royal Britannia yacht the gift shop in London. Someone else bought me that. Seemed appropriate for that character.
Because, yeah, he's sort of a pastiche, a bit like Mike Moore is a pastiche of a few current affairs hosts. Certainly Norman Vine seems to be a few kind of old Adelaide business boys. I'll put it that way.
So Peter Gers was probably the biggest inspiration. He was ABC evenings host. But then I came up with a character and then discovered other people who it kind of resembled, so it almost reverse engineered.
I'm sort of also feeling a bit of Jeremy Cordeaux in there as well.
So I didn't know who that was before I started doing Norman Vine, but since discovering him, like, oh yeah, yeah, I can see that. But also, it's kind of an archetype that lots of comedians have done, a sort of pompous business rich character like Brian Butterfield, or even like Sir Les Patterson, Jiminy Glick, I guess, the Martin Short. So it's kind of an archetype. It's not very original when you when you look at it really closely.
And since we're talking about it, we might as well plug where we can watch VHS Review.
Yeah, it's on most of the social medias. The full episodes are on YouTube, and then TikTok, Instagram, Threads, Facebook. VHS Review, REVUE.
And Patreon as well.
Oh, yeah, we're on that. Yeah.
And if we have some tapes to send you, can we, or are you just inundated?
Yeah, I got quite a lot at the moment because my neighbour gave me 500 late last year. So we're only looking at...
And the all-important book, the big red book.
Yeah, I love the book.
So many tapes, it came with an index book. And yeah, I mean, that's just interesting looking
that's
through
helpful.
that on its side. There's a couple of movies that are in there 2-3 times that they've taped the same movie at different points. But yeah, I'm only looking at 3 from that batch this year, and the others are from there's someone from Adelaide sent in some. The 2 70s ones come from a guy called Reese Marshall, and they're from Brisbane. So he's a proper archivist. You would have seen his stuff online. He goes by the tag Flemish Dog. So he puts up lots of stuff.
Yeah, I've sent him quite a few tapes, but he's mainly only interested in things before 2000. So he said he would send my post 2000 tapes to someone else. I don't know if that's you, David. It could well be. But one tape I did digitize the other day was sent to Matt. No, actually sent to me. But Martman basically found the 60 Minutes tape, Has the Media Gone Too Far, which was the discussion forum that basically was the inspiration for Frontline, where lots of media figures, journalists, people who'd been impacted by media investigations into their lives, and all had this kind of debate as to whether the media had gone too far in their pursuit for ratings. And yeah, it's really interesting. So it was a pretty poor quality tape, and I bought some head cleaner, and I tried to kind of get as much as I could out of it. And I think I did pretty well for a novice. I think maybe the first 10 minutes or so, there's some missing video, but the audio is all there, and it's it's pretty interesting. So we'll post the link up, and people can see what the inspiration was for Frontline.
Awesome.
Yeah, cool.
The tape is really poor value.
I mean, that must be quite a steep learning curve, David, trying to work out how to digitize all of this old videotape. There was one tape you showed in a previous episode of VHS Review that was all mouldy.
Oh yeah, that was. I didn't actually put that in the VCR because that would just ruin the VCR.
No, thank God.
Yeah, that belonged to my friend Alexis, and I don't know where he found it, but we just held it up as a prop. Like, look at how disgusting this. Like the tape, which is usually black on the inside, it was white. It was like pure white.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, if it's got mold on it, I'm sure as soon as you put it in the player, it would come up with a couple of episodes of Alan Jones Live. Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, what like is it a I hate to use this word as well. Is it a tedious process trying to get the tapes digitized?
No, not really. You just put it in and press play, and then hit record on your DVR, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it's really not that not that difficult. You encounter problems when if there is mold on it, you can get it cleaned. There are machines, professional machines that can clean them. There are professional services that can do that. I think you can do it yourself if you want to sort of take it apart. But if I find mold, generally I'm like, no, I'm not even going to bother with that. I got plenty of other tapes I can choose from.
Well, see, the other thing with that is, wouldn't it be a bugger if you did send it to somebody professionally to get all the mold removed, and then you go to play it and all the ads are cut out?
Yeah, well, that would be a big waste of time.
That's the beauty of it, is just the ads, right? Yeah, my partner found some old. He was obsessed with taping all the NBA games in the 90s, but he was really meticulous about editing all the ads out. So there are no ads.
It has been a month since we've done our previous episode of 63. I'll make it quick because I forgot about it until Kim decided to flash the book up on the screen. I had kind of moved on from that.
You've kind of had the media spotlight shone upon
I had
you.
my
Shone upon
4.5 minutes of shit on me where I discovered while doing research for this podcast that Sylvania Waters star Nolene Donaher had passed away, which no one had reported on. And as I dug deeper, I realised that she passed away a year and a month ago.
Wow.
That's extraordinary. A year and 2 months ago, And I just called out the media going, why wasn't this brought up by anyone? Why had no one reported on it? Especially when in 2023 or 2022, only just recently, I should say, that there was the 30th anniversary of Sylvania Waters. So articles were written upon the anniversary, being the first reality show, but no one bothered to check to see if Nolene was still around.
Was she still alive at that point?
She had actually passed away in May 2023. And then there was an article that was written, and The Guardian had actually published it. And it was in regards to Sylvania Waters. They'd written about it for November 2023 because the producer had passed away. So the producer passed away months after.
It was the British BBC guy, wasn't it?
It passed away after Nolene Donaher had passed away. So the article was written all about his passing. Yeah, and how much the show was was groundbreaking at the time and all that. But no one wrote or researched about the actual talent of the show, Nolene.
Well, you can.
So it's interesting. I remember about Nolene Donaher as she copped quite a lot in the press at the time, and I think that she didn't like. I remember she didn't like this kind of media scrutiny and press attention very much, and I suspect that it might have been her wish to just not tell the media about her passing. She just wanted to die quietly. Did you get that sense?
Yeah, but how I discovered it was a quick search on Facebook. And it was as well as a Google search where I just typed in her name, and then a blog came up from the historic racing team, or, like a classic car team thing. And it was written by Mick, her son. And as I was going through it all, I'm going, it's just a website, I'm not sure. And then when I did a deep dive into Facebook, I found it as a public post on a group and of Mick and his profile, and a whole bunch of comments and stuff like that went with it, re-emphasising that she had passed away and all this other stuff. I'm going, see, it just took me a couple of clicks to find it, and bam, and then I called it out on Twitter, and then suddenly, a few of my media friends who follow me picked up on it, and then it went gangbusters.
Yeah, you even got Daily Mailed, which doesn't take much, but there was that.
I got Daily Mailed, meaning that they took all credit for it, stole my screenshots, but no credit at all whatsoever.
Yeah, they do that.
Whereas there was quite a few. Is it Channel 7? I think Channel 7 is referred to as a pop culture.
Pop culture
producer,
commentator, writer. Yeah. So there you go. That was my 15 minutes of crappy fame. So
so you were credited quite comprehensively in a number of outlets. Obviously not the Daily Mail, but so that was you and your 4.5 minutes of fame.
Yep. And that is it. And we're moving on. So, Vale Nolene. No regrets at all.
Yeah.
Also, part of some back chat in regards to episode 63 of the podcast, Liam Phillips, listener Liam Phillips has written in to us. It was in regards to the episode where Changing the Face of Current Affairs, where Brooke is having a chat to the politician. And we randomly have gone, oh, isn't that the voiceover from Frontline playing the politician? And we didn't bother checking the credits or anything like that because their credits are pretty vague on the show. But this is what Liam has had to say. Hi team, just thought I'd share this info with you regarding the interview with Brooke, etc. The politician is played by David Bradshaw, and Bradshaw did indeed do the voice-over work for the network on Frontline, but he also did voice-over work for a bit of Australian TV and radio. One of his notable acting roles was Detective Andrew Fluff Saunders on season 1 of Phoenix. He also appeared in this role in one of Sean McAuliffe's brilliant piss takes on Mad as Hell. He also appeared in an episode of The Hollow Man, but unsure what role it was. I remember an interview with Santo, it might have been on the Behind the Frontline documentary, where he discussed how influential Phoenix was on Frontline in the way that it was all shot on camcorders and then underwent the cine telly process, where the tape is transferred to film, then back to videotape for broadcast to give the grainy, gritty look. Sadly, Bradshaw had passed away in 2021. His voice in particular, though, I think will always be a legacy to Australian broadcasting. It's so unique and memorable. So there you go. So there's a connection there for you, David.
What did he...
he was on Mad as Hell.
What did he play on Mad as Hell? Do you know this segment?
Not sure, but the letter says here...
Was it voice only?
Basically reappeared as the character from Phoenix on Mad as Hell. So Detective Andrew Fluff Saunders.
Huh. I don't remember that.
Oh, you might have to ask your old mate about it.
Yeah, I'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, and yeah, cool. I only just realised that too, so I should have asked you before the episode.
Oh, well, I'll
do
get
research,
back to you next year.
Right? Yeah, done. Thanks very much for that, Liam. And if anyone else has any feedback like that, or just bits of things that we've missed or whatever, feel free to email us, champagnelateshow@gmail.com. Now, the other note is that, yes, Working Dog Team has been nominated for many Logie Awards for this year, for 2024. So, dare I say, it is more or less fingers crossed.
Dude looks like a Logie.
All of them. Fingers crossed. But, yeah, you got Best Lead Actor in a Comedy, Rob Sitch for Utopia. Best Lead Actress in a Comedy, Kitty Flanagan or Celia Piccola. Utopia. Best Comedy Entertainment Program can be Thank God You're Here and Have You Been Paying Attention? And Best Scripted Comedy Program, Utopia. So fingers crossed they at least take away one award.
There is somebody who's up for the Gold Logie, who's graced the Working Dog universe, albeit very tangentially, I think.
Tracy constantly gave Dad proud moments. Once she was on The Price is Right. It was such an exciting afternoon for us.
Swap them around.
None of us could actually believe it was Tracy up there with Larry Emdia.
$45,000 worth of prizes. The luggage needs to be more than 640. It needs to be less than 740.
She almost won the lot.
Go!
Oh! If only she'd known the price of the luggage.
I'm so sorry about that.
But she still managed to come home with a tumble dryer and drill set.
Well, fingers crossed that Larry does get the gold because he's overdue since hosting the main event.
He's overdue since hosting Family Double Dare.
Oh.
Ouch.
He saw
Both episodes.
David saw your deep cut, Matt, and trumped it with an even deeper cut.
But can we go even further and say Cash Bonanza?
Ooh.
Oh, that's right. That was at Movie World, wasn't it?
Yeah, in the Wild Wild West Theatre.
Wow.
Or even more of a cut, thanks to Flemish Dog, his hosting of Chance and Coincidence from 92.
Wow.
Oh, God,
with
yes.
Dolph Lundgren, and who did the special Click the Mouse for the phone numbers, incorporate all those. But also, last time that Rob was on stage was for his 2015 win of Utopia, claiming the award.
Could 20 or 30 of the home and away crew come and join us here now? I first want to thank these guys for joining in a project that was a bit indistinct when we began. I'd like to thank the ABC. I know it's every network's dream to have a show about infrastructure. Who doesn't want that? But I also say, it's paying off now because around the country, millions of people are saying, "What's Utopia?" It's like house rules, but no. I will say this: growing up, the Logies for me was a whole bunch of TV stars getting up and reading out a string of people I'd never heard of, and in respect of that tradition, I'd like to mention two people who I've worked with for 25 years, Deb Herman and Annie Maver, who are... as a measure, 25 years of how long ago it is, this current series of My Kitchen Rules had just started. So a lot of Channel 7 tapers here tonight. And I do thank these guys again. I hope this is an inspiration to any kid out there who's at home tonight and can't cook, can't renovate, can't dance, can't sing, and can't eat insects. You can win a Logie.
You know what? That was 2015, and it still makes sense today.
I don't think you can win a Logie now, though.
Plenty of reality clap.
Fingers crossed that he also might be presenting a non-televised award.
Yes, in keeping with the Mike Moore tradition.
Best regional children's program or something, wasn't it? He got to present.
It's all in this week's TV Week, packed with great family entertainment.
Oh, Jesus! Daniel G., it's time for your program guide.
All right, so in the past week, there's been a couple of interesting events that have been televised. On Thursday, the 28th of September at 8:30 on ABC TV, there was Nirvana's episode of MTV Unplugged.
Ah, yes.
Simulcast on Triple J.
Yes. Legendary.
Yeah, it's a bloody good performance. There's plenty of clips of it on YouTube legally. There would have been a fair few people tuning in, because this would have screened posthumously. The other thing we had is the AFL Grand Final on the Saturday the 30th. That was between Geelong and Carlton. Now, if you don't want to know the score, please look away now. I've done that joke in a previous episode a long time ago, and I will never tire of it.
Well, what if we don't want to look away and we desperately want to know who won? Do you have the results there?
Oh
no.
Oh well, that's,
I do actually have it written down, but I'm not going to tell you. Go and Google.
Okay, fine. I don't care either, really.
Here's some waiting music, Alison.
Now, there was also a bit of news about Working Dog in the mixed media section of the Sydney Morning Herald Guide. Andrew Conway writes, hot on the heels of Frontline's debut in the United States, the first series premiered on Comedy Central last night. The Frontline production team is celebrating another major sale, this time to the Nickelodeon pay TV network in the UK. Rob Sitch and the team have also scored a hit with a Funky Squad, the 7-part send-up of 70s cop shows, which has just finished screening on Britain's Channel 4. While the channel's average audience share is 11%, Funky Squad attracted an overall 13% and a whopping 52% share of 25 to 34-year-olds, the show's target audience. Frontline's second series ends on October 16.
Young, hip, in touch with the now generation. Funky Squad.
There you go. So the Brits liked it. There was also a couple of letters in the Age Green Guide to do with swearing on television. The first, which I won't read to you, was talking about the propensity of F words in the recently screened miniseries Blue Murder. But the second letter is quite pertinent to us because it does talk about Frontline. Gerald Shield from Parkville writes, Recently, I wrote to the general manager of the ABC, Mr. Johns, to complain about the gratuitous use of profane and gutter language in the ABC TV program Frontline on the 4th of September. FYI, that's Season 2, Episode 7, Divide the Community, Multiply the Ratings. I listed the offensive material as the program progressed from 8 p.m. Now, I hope you're all clutching your pearls for this.
Yep.
Here comes the list. Little trigger warning for you. Bugger. Bullshit. For God's sake, twice. Holy Jesus. All of these in the first 5 minutes. Subsequently, there were others. Asshole. He's staring at her tits. Shit. 5 times. Prick. Wankers. Monumental balls up. Ouch, Christ. How in God's name? Jesus, but I can't drop it, says Marty. And once more at 8:25 p.m, Marty says, Christ.
Oh, not Crichton Brown?
Strangely missing from this list, Matt. It seems to me that while the ABC claims to be reflecting community standards, the language it permits on some of its programs would tend to give the viewers the impression that the bulk of the population accepts the use of profane and gutter language as the norm. The deterioration in the use of language reflects either an increase in the growth of secular humanism in our society or the apathy of Christians in general. This program is shown in prime viewing time and carries no warning about the use of profane and abusive language. What do you think? Do you think Gerald has a point there, or do you think he should fuck off?
Well, obviously he should fuck off, but there is a certain irony there that in complaining about all the swears and the blasphemy in Frontline, he gets them listed in an actual newspaper that's printed and sold to millions of people. So good on him.
Yeah, and none of it replaced with asterisks or full stops or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Just reminds me of all those people in America with the banned books, and they go up and say, "This is why is this book still in libraries?" And then they kind of list every bad bit and they read it out.
Yeah, but it's like they then encourage people to go and get that book.
Yeah.
So it's a sort of is it the Streisand effect where this sort of
probably is.
It's the old elderly operations centre working in real life.
Yeah. But
he's obviously they forgot about the bad language. Shit.
I reckon there was probably like a sort of a Christian division of the Elderly Operations Centre where that guy and a few other sort of pearl clutching, Catholics or Christians were all writing in their letters.
Somebody had to sit in front of Frontline and with pen and paper, and possibly one of those tallying, metal things that you press the button and the number goes up by 1.
Clicker? Is it a clicker?
Yeah, clicker thing. Yeah.
I can imagine what Matt's thinking about because the clicker may feature.
Yep.
A bit later this episode.
Spoiler alert, yeah. So we'll refrain for now.
All right, so let's get to the program guide proper. So on the ABC, after Frontline, Four Corners and Media Watch, we've got another repeat of Absolutely Fabulous. Season 2, Episode 3, titled Morocco, from February 1994. Edina and Patsy travel to Marrakesh for a photo shoot. They're accompanied by Eddie's daughter Saffron, who is interested in studying the local Indigenous peoples for school. There, Edina and Patsy meet with an old friend, Humphrey, who sexually harasses Saffron. Oh, hilarity.
Oh, jeez. You said old man Humphrey. Straight away I thought, God, old Humphrey bear, until you said the sexually...
Could have been Shirley, the slightly aggressive.
Yeah, pretty much likely.
In that episode, doesn't Saffron get sold into slavery or something at the end?
I think
she doesn't have a great time that episode.
No. Over on Channel 7, we've got another repeat of Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, Season 1, Episode 20, titled Fly Hard, originally from March 94. 5 terrorists invade the Daily Planet building searching for a gangster's secret vault. Hilarity possibly ensues. Certainly, I'm sure they get the living shit kicked out of them by Superman.
I used to watch that. I loved that show.
There you go. You're not the only one, David.
This is also the golden age where television stations could put repeats to air and still get the same ratings as a first-run episode.
And they would just randomly choose what to repeat. They didn't follow any kind of successive episodes or anything, did it? It tended to be kind of a random or seemingly random.
It'll be like The Simpsons, where it just got to that point they had so much episodes and they're just gonna, let's hit shuffle. And then you'll get something from season 4, then suddenly something from season 1, and then just go, oh, okay, that's a bit weird.
At least, if it's The Simpsons, you don't see the cast noticeably age in between episodes, Sometimes, if they were playing like the Brady Bunch or something, they look completely different, between season 1 and 4.
Braces, no braces. Braces, no braces.
All right, going to SBS, we're looking at the final episode of the German documentary series, That Was Our War.
April 17, 1941. The citizens of Yugoslavia awake to an unpleasant surprise.
Watch out, Hitler's about. Watch out, Hitler's about. Yeah, you better watch out, cause Hitler's about. Hitler's about.
No, not that one. That's from The Late Show. No, this is the German documentary series, That Was Our War.
Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Hello.
I'm home. Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Smile, honey. Because I'm home.
Can you believe somebody actually recorded this?
It's comedy, man.
Was that sitcom where like Hitler lives next door to someone? Is that what that is?
Yeah, he lives next door to a Jewish couple, and they played one episode of this. It's like a parody of an American sitcom. Okay, so they played one episode of this on, I think, Channel 4, and then they
No. It was British Satellite Broadcasting.
Oh, it was BSB,
which was then in its infancy. So only lasted one episode in 1990 before everybody went, "You did what?" So
God,
a lot of people didn't get the irony of what they were trying to do. I think
they made some bizarre sitcoms back then.
Well, the general consensus is, this might have been good for a one-off or maybe one sketch on a sketch show, but not 8 episodes worth. So it turns out there are 7 other episodes which have been made which have never seen the light of day.
Wow.
DVD release.
Yeah, but they'll sit well next to your Allo collection.
That's definitely not the theme song to That Was Our War. Play the real thing. Come on.
Yay!
Who do you think you are kidding, Mr. Hitler? If you think we're on the run.
And you know what? That there's an actual, at the time of this recording, there's the lost episodes coming out on DVD. So I just
yes, is that similar to Doctor Who, where they've got the audio of it but not the vision, so they've animated it to the audio, haven't they?
Correct.
Yeah, it's quite a nice animation. It was on British television towards the end of last year, I think, and it's nicely done, but
And there is a little bit of connective tissue between Dad's Army and Heil Honey, I'm Home.
And unless Arthur Lowe defeats him, the man himself in a few moments in Heil Honey, I'm Home as the Galaxy Comedy Weekend continues.
So there you go. You can't say that BSB doesn't have a sense of humour. Yeah, basically, I think I've painted myself into a bit of a corner if SBS decide to put any World War II documentaries up against Frontline next year. Although, mind you, there are a couple of D-Generation sketches that come to mind that I'm not going to mention right now because, they might come in handy when we go to season 3.
Yeah, just hold on. You just hold on to those for the time.
Yeah, hold your Nazi gear, Daniel, to your chest.
Oh,
so weird.
I might have a clip you can use, actually. That's something I found on an upcoming VHS review. Yeah, it'll be ready by next year. So,
all right, moving quickly on to Channel 9. We're done with all of the weird specials now, and we're back into a little bit of regular programming. Season 2 of the sitcom Sybil. starring Sybil Shepherd. So yeah, season 2, episode 1, titled "Sybil Discovers the Meaning of Life." I suppose this is the closest you could come to fast tracking. It aired in the US on the 17th of September 1995. We're only getting it, 2-3 weeks later.
Express post.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, had to put it on an airplane. Yeah.
Don't wrap it, post packet.
So in the episode, disturbed by feeling that her family all has lives separate from her own, Sybil drags Marianne into the desert in search of spiritual insights, and receiving an urgent psychic message from the universe, rushes back just in time for the birth of her grandson. So there you go. And that's followed at 8 o'clock by a little bit of lifestyle, which we haven't had from Channel 9 in this time slot, and pretty precarious putting this up against what's usually on Channel 10. So it's the second season premiere of Looking Good, hosted by Deborah Hutton. And she was featuring the latest in fashion trends, beauty, health, and fitness. Unfortunately, the guide is not as comprehensive as it is with the Channel 10 show. But it's another mid-90s thing. There's a hell of a lot of lifestyle television out there. All right, and speaking of which, let's get to Channel 10. We've got Healthy, Wealthy, and Wise. So tonight's episode features paper embossing, the expenses involved in purchasing a family pet, advice on where to get your car serviced, sculptors in Adelaide, and a trip to Winston, an outback Queensland town.
Hope Tonya Todman's out there doing embossing, paper embossing.
I do and don't want to know what paper embossing is at this point.
Paper embossing while getting the car serviced.
It's pretty straightforward. It's where you emboss paper.
Oh, well, thanks, Daniel. That's really helpful.
Embossing is like when it's raised above, right?
Yeah. It's like watermark. It's like stamping or whatever it is.
See, now you can just do that in Photoshop with a click,
Yeah.
Emboss.
So, that's at 7:30, followed at 8:30 by the 9th Annual ARIA Awards. If you don't want to know the results, once again, look away now. I will actually spoil this one for you. So, actually, can any of you guess what the album of the year was?
Was it
1995?
It'd be
too
Peter
early
Andres.
for Brown album.
It would have been too early for Brown album.
Meryl Bainbridge.
Girlfriend?
No, but she is one of the presenters.
Is it Frente? No, it's too late for Frente, isn't it?
Yeah.
Perhaps if I say the album of the year is by Tina Arena.
Oh, Chains?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, Don't Ask. Yeah.
Don't ask. Yeah.
And single of the year was by a emerging grunge rock band from Newcastle.
Silverchair.
Yeah, so they had single of the year with Tomorrow. It was also the highest selling single as well. And now I will also highlight the best comedy release. Somebody who is usually in the very shrinking comedy section of your JB Hi-Fi. If that helps. And it's a sequel to a previous comedy album that they had.
The 12th Man?
Yeah, I'd guess the
Bloody
12th
Wilson?
Man.
Yeah, it is the 12th Man and the album.
That will be Still the 12th Man.
Oh, not quite.
No, Bill Laurie, This Is Your Life.
No, that was 97, I think.
No, because it went the 12th Man again, Still the 12th Man. So, and Still the 12th Man was 92, 93.
No, I'm going to put you out of your misery. It was Wired World of Sports 2.
Oh, that's right. Wired World of
I
Sports,
found an ad for that recently.
Ah.
Yeah, it's not in an episode. I just found it on some other tape.
Just highlighting also the other nominees. I don't know if any of you know of these albums. Ostentatious, Alive, and Shticking.
I've heard of him.
Familiar with Tatius' work, yes.
Yeah, well, you mean Billy Birmingham already, so you tend to write his material.
We had Crack by Jamoan. Not to be confused with his movie The Crack. We had Scared With Little Guys with their album Scared. And last of all, Kevin Bloody Wilson, Let Loose Live in London.
Oh, had that album. That was fantastic.
Any rootin' in the back of the ute on that one?
quite possibly as a sing-along.
And what does your dad own a brewery? I can't say the other lyrics.
Well, that guy from the Green Guide will write in and complain if you list the other lyrics. It's pure Shakespeare, this stuff, isn't it?
And speaking of pure Shakespeare, let's get on with the episode proper.
All right. Thank you very much, Daniel, for that very worthy information. Now, David, just because you're in a different country, excluding Alison.
Spiritually in Adelaide at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, I never left.
Spiritually.
One never can.
No.
You are in the motherland of Allen keys and DIY building shelving and stuff like that. So
there is a lot of it around. Yeah.
I can see all these plates of meatballs behind you. You know.
Well, there actually were on that table back there.
ABBA seemed to be serving them up oddly, so
that's all they do in their spare time.
Rock said if you want the 90s vibe.
Yeah. Yes, it is your turn once again to do your best Mike Moore impression when I count you in. Okay, not yet. So get rid of that IKEA meatball that tastes like horse.
Speaking of 12th Man, you get to do your little producer person, Matt.
Hold on, ready? 4, 3, 2, cue in.
Hello, I'm David M. Green. This is Frontline Season 2, Episode 11, A Man of His Convictions, broadcast Monday, October 2nd, 1995.
Hey!
David, you are the only one who actually made the effort and go,
It's the most obvious thing.
Well, that's the whole idea behind it all, but no one has bothered doing that. They just skip straight into there. Hello, and then...
Well, you could have put it in the script, I mean.
Yeah, let's do stage direction, man.
Oh, sorry.
He's only reading what you put on the teleprompter.
Yeah, most of us aren't experienced, and we just...
All right. As David has said, the synopsis for this episode of Frontline, when Mike is accused of being a lightweight, he decides to hit back, but his past catches up with him. All right, we'll go straight into the episode because we are introduced in the office where Mike is consulting Marty, Stu and Jace about the cartoon drawn of him that features in the paper, which kind of looks like it's been glued in.
Yeah, it does a bit.
Later on you see where the paper is like looking very tea-coloured, faded yellow type brown, and then suddenly the caricature is very white.
Yeah, I did think that paper looked pretty old.
Yeah, I thought it might have been like the pink Financial Times kind of shade, but it just looked like some really old newspaper that had been in the sun too long. But yes, it's very obvious that has stuck on paper.
Did you ever do that in primary school where part of art class or whatever you would get to make something look old, you make your own colonial newspaper type thing?
Oh, yeah, you dip it in tea and then you sort of burn the edges. Yeah.
I still have that because I wrote one about I even had a fountain pen, but had the tea stain, had the burn around it, and it was chosen by then New South Wales Premier Barry Unsworth was reading it, and I was a photo in the local of me in the local newspaper dressed as Garfield for Book Week, and he's reading my book tea stain book. So.
Wow.
Well, see, we just spoke about the whole thing with me getting my 4.5 minutes of shit, and then you've got your Barry Unsworth.
Yeah.
So,
I actually
what are you stepping on this for?
I went to the library last year and I looked at the archives and found the original newspaper where I was featured in that as well. But I have a clip of it somewhere at home. But
and how yellow was that newspaper?
That was That was in 1987 in the Leader newspaper, which is still around. Very thin now. Back then it was full of ads and classifieds, and now it's just a free newspaper that comes around once a week. But yeah, it's mostly just used to line the bird cage now. It's the only place I can find a newspaper.
Dom's hair is a masterpiece throughout this entire episode.
They've thrown every gag at this. Multiple hairstyles in this episode.
Yeah, she starts with Mickey Mouse ears and then it progresses into
kind of sideshow
even more
Bob style.
Yeah, the sideshow
like
Bob
sideshow.
hair is quite something.
But I just love how no one just cares about it. They just walk past her as if she's has just normal everyday Dom.
Mike doesn't get the cartoon, but Dom gets it, but only because it's a cartoon. So she just thinks it's funny because it's a cartoon. Wearing her Mickey Mouse ears.
Maybe it was drawn by Ross Warnicki. That's why Mike doesn't get it.
Oh, of course. No, isn't Fidgen the cartoonist?
Yes, I've gotten that wrong. Oh,
Yeah.
God,
You've got
Sammy
to
with
play
the
all
pedantry.
you've got to play the pedantry and the Warnicki and the Fidgen all together.
Oh, damn, no, my machine will break. So let's get... hold on.
No, didn't
I don't have any Fidgen.
No.
No.
Damn it.
I'll just do...
Pedantry.
That will do.
No, it was good you got that confused because then we could make the joke.
With that, Mike brushes off a phone call from the Wilderness Society as Brooke storms in, and she shows Sam that she's been featured on a blooper show. Now, have a listen very carefully to the music.
So, no word from the minister, and as the agricultural statistics Sorry, I can't concentrate if you're laughing. It's not funny.
I know it was very soft and hard to hear, but that was straight out of the Hey Hey library.
Oh.
Yeah.
It did sound quite 80s.
There used to be so many of those blooper shows.
I think what's interesting about the clip there is that sure they could have just had Brooke fluffing her lines, but then they really stick the boot in and really make her look really bad by putting in that I can't concentrate if you're laughing. It's not funny part to it.
Yeah.
It's sort of there's a bit of punching down there.
The next scene just sort of really reinforces that bit, I think.
Yeah.
Thanks to the modern technology and YouTube, you can now see the bloopers of a lot of TV stations, which from the 80s and 90s, which could be quite, what do you call it? I've forgotten that word.
Libelous?
There we go. That's the word. Some of the things now, yeah.
Although, mind you, if you don't have the internet, there's also a handy space for you to watch all the news bloopers of the week, and that's 8:30 Tuesdays on Channel 10. Cheap seats.
Cheap seats.
Oh, yes, that too. Yeah.
But that's just stuff that went to air, though. They don't show non-broadcast clips.
True.
Wow. Something that struck me about that is that wouldn't they have needed to get her permission to play that stuff?
Well, I'd say that because whoever submitted that tape, because it came from a source from the TV show, they would have gone, oh, that person works from Frontline, that's completely fine.
Yeah, or they just would have lied.
It wasn't Brooke who gave permission, it was somebody anonymous at Frontline.
Yeah. Well, Sam does call out staff to hand over any tapes of Brooke's bloopers, but not until he turns around and looks away.
No.
Poor Brooke.
And poor David, who's wondering whether those tapes are damaged, being put in that box.
Thank you. I did notice that one of those tapes is a U-matic tape.
Oh, thank you. I was going to actually ask you if you noticed what type of tape that was.
It looked like most of them were VHS, but there was at least one U-matic tape in there. And two of the VHS review episodes this season are looking at U-matic tapes. So that was a format.
They're the 70s ones, are they?
Yeah, it was the first format that Sony released before they came out with Beta, and it was primarily used by TV stations, like especially news out on location. Because before that, they had to use 16mm film, which was time-consuming to get developed. But, with U-matic, you could record it electronically, and then if you had a truck with a satellite dish on it, you could beam it back to the station. It was changed everything.
And it's all broadcast quality, yeah.
Yeah, well, for the time, standard definition.
While studying the cartoon in his office, Mike has a guest from the Wilderness Society come in, and he originally freaks out until an attractive woman walks in, Cammy. Marty is ogling from afar when Dom is worried about the Wilderness chocolate box is $7 short. Good on her for caring for that. Cammy discusses a few of her issues with Mike.
So if Piazzolla gets his way, this entire native forest will be cleared to make way for the resort.
And the government's approved this? Hey, come on. We did everything we could. I mean, we had the trivia night and everything else.
It's not too late, Mike. We're going to stage a blockade this Thursday, stop the bulldozers going in.
All right.
And we want you to be a part of it.
Great.
You don't want to do it.
Hey, Cammy, I'm as passionate about environmental issues as you, but I'm the host of a national current affairs show. I mean, even hosting that trivia night was a bit...
We really need someone like you with a bit of,
credibility.
Profile.
Well, I'll have to run it by a few people. Come on, let me give you another hug.
Creepy.
Oh, ick! Creep.
Yeah.
That
Creep alert.
I know they have to say that to sort of set up this running gag through the thing, but let me give you another hug. Jeez.
Yeah. Very awkward. And she doesn't say anything about it, maybe just because she knows that Mike's there to help.
Maybe she wants a hug.
Yeah.
She didn't ask for a hug.
Well, she
Huggy,
make
huggy
it sense.
creeper.
I don't know. I guess she mainly wants him to come on the protest, doesn't she? So
Yeah. She just wants to save the forest.
But yeah, is this Frontline or one of those mandatory HR videos?
Marty is recording a story of two alcoholic brothers who have become sober, only for the story to be quite bland and lackluster. So Stu suggests to give him a footy to liven things up. And we find out later how that ends up. Now,
can I just point out that these two alcoholics, there's one who's called Baz, and he looks quite a lot like Barry Humphries.
Yeah. I had a double take.
I wondered if that was deliberate because Barry Humphries was an alcoholic and he recovered very successfully from it. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
partially inspiring?
Yeah, quite possibly.
Well, I mean, if you want to read into the names, the other guy's name is Ray.
Who was a big...
Willisey wasn't he?
Yeah, I was going to say Willisey was, yeah.
Yeah.
And Hinch as well.
Infamous going on
Hinch,
here. Inebriated.
Needed a new liver.
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought the hobo costumes were a bit cartoonish, you know, the hat.
They
they almost needed one of those sticks with the polka dot handkerchief tied at the end.
Yeah, the flamboyant gear they've got on does sort of rather lean into the Barry Humphries sort of vibe.
Mike is talking to Jeff about the land clearing for the health resort, and which is right up Mike's alley for membership.
Anyway, did I tell you the Wilderness Society want me to head their campaign?
Oh, that's not surprising. You hosted their trivia night. You're always
the trivia night. Yeah, only one problem. Cammy wants me there. Well, yeah, I'm just a coordinator from the Wilderness Society.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she wants me to be at the blockade on Thursday.
Wow, are you going to do it?
I don't know.
Oh, I'd stick it right up that cartoonist.
What do you mean?
Fancy someone implying you're lightweight. I
don't think he was implying that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you floating above
I don't think he was implying that.
Oh, yeah, maybe I misinterpreted.
Lightweight?
Yeah,
I'm lightweight?
No way.
I was interviewing the Prime Minister last night, and that's the second time this month. Didn't go on the others, he came on Frontline.
That's right.
What does that tell you?
That you're the only host that won't give him a hard time.
Yeah. No,
I must have misinterpreted that as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
The back and forth between Rob and Santo.
It's like a dance, isn't it? It's like Jeff dances around. He doesn't want to offend Mike because he knows Mike's higher status than him, and yeah, they're such a good double act, those two. You know, I think Utopia or something like that would be very much enlivened by them reviving their double act, but alas, they haven't done that.
Now, in the studio, as we see after Martin's story of the two brothers kicking the footy around, it does liven it up a little bit. Being called a lightweight gets on Mike's nerves. It does affect his interviewing style, in which an innocent guest cops a bit of the flack.
Well, the internet, it's set to become part of our lives.
Sorry, I just wanted to stop that soundbite there because that whole setup is just so funny, so I'll start it again.
Well, the internet, it's set to become part of our lives. But should there be police patrolling this new information superhighway? One woman who says yes is Judy Vivella from the National Parents Council. She joins me now. Judy, what precisely are your concerns?
As a mother of 3 teenagers, I've seen the sort of disturbing material available on internet. Pornography, violence.
What's the running time on this?
2.5, 3 if it's interesting.
Disturbing information.
2.5.
And you'd like to see some restrictions placed on this?
Yes, I feel that some
Isn't this just Big Brother stepping in again?
Well, controlled censorship...
Why don't we all go back to Nazi Germany, shall we? I mean, where we burn books and computer discs.
No, I don't think that...
I know exactly what you and your fascist sympathisers think. You just want an all-powerful government scrutinising our every move. Well, I don't buy it, Mrs. Vivella. I don't buy it one bit. You say Jawohl, I say Nein, danke.
Heil, honey. Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Heil, honey.
Hello.
I'm home.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much. I think that might be Godwin's Law manifest.
Yeah.
As an online discussion grows longer, the probability of a comparison involving Nazis or Hitler approaches 1.
He got straight to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was pretty much 0 to 1 in less than 30 seconds, I'd say.
Yeah, that was a kind of fun reminder of how people were thinking about the early internet, and they were getting very shocked by the idea that there were these bomb-making recipes and sort of pornography and things on the internet, whereas actually the reality of the internet, it was like 90% Star Trek fan sites. So
and also everyone trying to work out who shot Mr. Burns.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I do remember that. This was the year I first used the web, so I do remember this time while I was at university. So I have touched on it before, but I was probably around this time that I was more into it than others. Other people just didn't get it. It was all nerds back then.
Me too. Like you, I was an early adopter of the internet, and I was looking up the very rudimentary sort of content they had on comedy, and there was very, very little. Blackadder was the one thing I saw about, and a lot of it was all the other TV stuff was basically Star Trek.
That's why I started my GeoCities page on the Late Show.
Yes. Thank you, Kim.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, it is this conversation that she's having is the similar conversation that we're having today about AI, about, regulation, which, and to be fair, as a parent of a teenager as well, I see her points in some degree. So I think that Mike was obviously realizing that his lightweight status had to be overturned somehow, and this was the easiest way for him to go about it. And it was a little bit whoa, even for Sam and Emma.
It's a sharp U-turn, isn't it, for Mike Moore there?
Yeah. Now, so David, do you have any early internet memories?
I had a Gmail email account in like 1998 because back then,
you mean Hotmail?
The domain, the @gmail.com was actually owned by the Garfield website, and you could. I used to go there and read cartoons, but you could also get like an email like from there, and it was @Gmail. And I don't know how
you
Google
the Garfield
acquired it, whether they gave them some money or it had expired by the time Gmail launched. But yeah.
And do you still have your original Gmail account?
No,
someone already took it?
Long since lapsed. Yeah. But the Garfield website's pretty much the same as it was back then.
Yeah, I think I do remember when I was at uni, I did my internship at Internet Garfield.au magazine, and I had to review kids' websites. And I do specifically remember reviewing the Garfield website because there was a game where he would be catching the lasagna that was falling from the sky. And
All right.
to like control him. So
You could download screensavers, which were pretty cool. And there was one where like he sort of walks to the fridge in the middle of the night and he pulls out a different item of food from the fridge. Oh, what's it going to be this time? Is it going to be a piece of cake or that was good. Now everyone's screen just goes black now. It's it was the golden age of screensavers.
Now, after a chat with Sam on what the hell happened, Media Watch is on, and Mike had sent a letter, hot off the heels of being called a lightweight. And yes, Daniel, your favourite of Frontline.
Frontline. Well, it seems our recent criticism of Frontline has pierced the normally thick skin of its presenter, or should that be poseur, Mike Moore. So much so that Mr. Moore's broken new ground by actually writing to us.
Dear Mr. Littlemore, following your scurrilous attack on me in my program last week, I felt compelled to write with a few corrections. 1. Frontline did not and has not ever offered financial remuneration to a criminal in return for an interview. 2. Our reporters are not only responsible, but also legally bound by the journalist's code of ethics.
Legally? I could have sworn it was a voluntary set of guidelines.
3. I would personally never condone the sort of activities you have accused us of. Next time, I strongly advise you to check your facts.
Mike, next time I strongly advise you to check your spelling.
Burn.
Bam.
Yeah.
No script with that thing. You can tell he just, would have done that off the cuff.
Yeah, for people who can't see, there's a few typos there. Activities was spelled activity with an S, and advice instead of advise. And he also said remuneration and remuneration. I think he got confused there as well.
There was no apostrophe on journalists as well.
Shocking.
Yeah. You got that pedantry stinger?
Pedantry.
Thank you.
There we go.
I think my favourite typo out of that lot is Mike saying that Frontline did not and has not ever offered financial remuneration. Like saying did not and has not is basically the same thing.
It's a double negative.
Now you got me stumped. This is not a grammar podcast, unfortunately.
Oh, great. Now we're going to get all the
pedantry
writing in.
Come on.
Yeah, come on.
Write in pedants. we need the exposure. Come on.
The hill I want to die on is not grammar related, right?
Yeah. Well,
can we
then.
just slightly wind back? There's a conversation that Sam has with Mike after his interview with Judy from the Parents' Council, and he says to Mike, why did you go so hard on this woman? And then he realizes that someone, well, it was actually Jeff, explained the cartoon to him. So Sam says to him, who explained the cartoon? And Mike says in this small voice, I worked it out myself. And it just reminded me quite a lot of this.
It's all about strength, right? And no one thinks you're strong.
I know where this is going.
Well, I am.
Yeah, it's that exact intonation. I worked it out myself. It's, well, I am. It's that. So anyway, that I just heard that little sort of slight intonation in this, and I thought I'd just mention that.
Yeah, only Mike doesn't have the strength to break a pencil and
and take a chocolate roll and go fop. Yeah. Could he? Do you reckon he'd survive in a fight with wet newspaper? I don't know.
Only if it's got his cartoon on it, maybe.
There we go. Yeah.
And bringing it back.
Now, the next morning, while Emma is getting an amusing phone call, which we'll find out later, Marty rocks up feeling a little seedy after attending a press club fundraising dinner. The funny part is, with that, all I could think of was, I thought of a reporter that did have a bit of a boozy time. That's well reported, but that happened years later. So it was like a premonition or like a prelude or just a prediction type thing, a Simpsons did it type thing.
Oh, journalists have been getting drunk for 100 years. So.
Got steamed up at the Walkleys.
All right.
Oh, the one who punched people? That guy?
The one who went up on stage, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, calling the other person a disgrace.
Didn't it get discussed on Get This or something?
The clip's on YouTube. So when I looked it up, I went, oh, that happened years after.
Well, yeah, I suppose, yeah, if you were to basically just say a journalist got drunk at a function, I mean, that doesn't really narrow down the field that much, does it?
No.
They're all getting drunk.
Well, Brooke makes more bloopers for her story.
Can I just point out she's filming in I believe this is the Gordon Street car park, is it? The ABC Gordon Street?
Huh.
Maybe David can
in Gordon Street this afternoon.
Oh,
yeah. The building is it's got these kind of red panels on it, on the windows.
Yeah, that's right outside the entrance where you walk into the old ABC in Elstonwick.
That's wicked.
Or Gordon Street.
Yeah.
Yeah. It featured a lot in Mad as Hell as well. There was a clip that they used quite a lot of the DeLorean parked there and various characters running out of the building, getting into the DeLorean, and the DeLorean flying away.
Oh, yeah.
Even after that whole building had closed and we'd moved to South Bank, they were still using that clip that we just shot years earlier. So they'd run out of the studio.
I assume because the DeLorean was quite expensive or something and they had to get the money worth.
Oh, well, you just... When you do something like that, when you hire a prop or whatever, you just shoot as many people using it as possible, and then with the idea that you'll use those clips in future for something. Yeah.
Oh, well, speaking of clips in future, this is a slight tangent here, and thanks to Kim pointing this out, but it was something that, and we are going to go a little bit Late Show-esque, because Tony Martin had actually mentioned this to someone when they quizzed about clips of The Late Show, right? And if I quickly bring it up here, this is worth it.
Yeah, and this was on Blue Sky.
Which always, whenever I see that name written out, it looks like Blue-esque to me.
Yeah, that's how I see it too. Here we go. So someone, in fact, Oz Retro Comp was asking about Late Show stuff and then about erasing tapes. And he's written here, Auntie was erasing tapes as recently as the mid-90s. That's a worry. I'm glad that I have a few ratty old off-air VHS recordings of The Late Show stashed somewhere safe. And Tony's gone, not all completed shows, but all the work tapes, including, in our case, dozens of sketches that were never used. If we'd known, if we'd known, we would have brought in our own tape and dubbed them across, but we never had the chance. They weren't thinking ahead to the world of DVDs and deleted scenes.
No.
Oh, that's tragic.
So sad.
I hope he's got scripts at least or something.
Well, this is in regards to, Oz Retro Comp talking about Molly Meldrum's foresight of stealing all the master tapes of Countdown because the ABC were going through the bulk eraser, and then Tony's said here, everything from The Late Show aside from completed episodes themselves was erased. The only tape of those musical numbers we did, Joan Kerner, etc., without credits over them, was rescued from a to-be-erased bin by an eagle-eyed PA. Yeah. So there you go. There's some horror for you.
Yeah, and he's still thinking about it to this day. Obviously, it's one of the big regrets.
Yep.
We can only dream about what those tapes had.
But even more recently, like there's still a lot of stuff that was recorded on tape, like in the 2000s, like especially like ads and things like that no one has copies of anymore. A lot of news stuff. Yeah, like I was trying to track down some ad from like the mid 2000s, and I found the production company that made it, and they only had a really, really low quality copy of it that they'd put on YouTube, like really bad. And they didn't have the master. They would have given it to the company, and then who knows where that is now. They would have probably put it in a drawer and lost it.
That's a tragedy.
This is where the useful work of the YouTube archivists really comes in.
Yep.
Yeah. So
And the home
often,
taper
Even though,
as well.
yeah, I mean, even though, the quality may be, may
Subpar.
vary.
Yeah.
At least it's better than 240p, YouTube vision.
Yeah,
Or
I think it was 240p. That's really terrible. But just a regular VHS tape that you would have recorded off TV, as long as you had a half decent antenna, looks fine. That's like 480p, which is standard def.
Back to Frontline. Sorry, that's my fault for the tangent. Sam questions Marty's boozy behaviour after being spoken about on the radio, which contradicts the tone of his story of sober brothers from last night.
While we're on the subject of alcoholism, the story you did last night. The ex-alcoholics who gave drinking the boot.
What about it?
Well, the hostel phoned me. Said you paid them to kick the football around.
It was raining. It was just your standard deal. I gave him a bottle of scotch.
Whoops.
Yep.
It's been really good being able to see Kevin J. Wilson bring out the angry Sam in this episode.
Yes. I also enjoyed when he got all the tapes. He got thank you like that. That was nice.
Meanwhile, everyone is trying to pronounce an upcoming guest's name that Emma.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Hey, Marty, see who Mike's interviewing this week?
Professor Softcock. What's the topic? Impotence?
The dangers of nuclear testing. He's a Norwegian scientist.
Kate, I'd check that pronunciation again.
Well, guys, I'll be in editing.
Hey, Brooke, you want me to drop that down for you? Hey?
You must think I'm pretty stupid. I'm not letting this tape out of my sight.
Hi, is Mike in?
Oh, Penny.
Hi, Mike. I bought you some more stickers.
Oh, great. We're running short.
Hey, Mike, see you interviewing this week, mate?
Professor Softcock. What?
His name?
Softcock? Oh, you people are so puerile.
I'm not laughing, Mike.
And that's with Dom with the sideshow bob hair.
So David, you're in Scandinavia at the moment. Can you tell us if
any
this,
soft cocks
this
around?
name is actually, have you got any soft cocks around at the moment?
No, I haven't encountered that one. It sounds more German, I think.
Do you know what? I don't know if anyone else did this. I actually Googled softcock as it is spelt in Frontline, and there were this was one of those amazing things where Google has nothing to say. Like, basically, if you Google softcock, there's no results.
Wow.
So
And that is
sadly, it is not a real Norwegian surname or a German surname or anywhere else in that part of Northern Europe. It is not a surname.
Well, it's clearly made up to serve a very good joke that's coming up later.
No.
Which I don't know.
Did remind me.
I don't know if you knew that, but you can do that in comedy. You can just make stuff up.
Can you?
Yeah.
Wow. That opens up a whole range of possibilities, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, that's great.
I've just freeze framed the with the bit where they're all kind of laughing in front of the whiteboard, and they've written Mr. Professor Softcock in really big letters there. But you've got you've got Stu wearing like a Hard Rock Cafe t-shirt. I don't know if that's a coincidence or not to have a Hard Rock Cafe.
Oh, what Hard Rock Cafe?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You're right about the Google stuff there, Alison, because I've done it just now, and Google helpfully asked me, "Did you mean Chef Cock, Soft Tech, Jeff Kosh, or Sophia Kosh?"
None of the above. I wanted soft cocks.
I'd say that the way that because they wrote it on the whiteboard, it's because of the spelling of it. It's to try and get around that whole censor thing, because if you just listen to the audio and it's to get around the censors.
Imagine the letter from that guy if he'd done this week's episode.
Do you remember there was, this was maybe 10, 12 years ago, there was that New Zealand breakfast television presenter, and there was a guest on their show, and her name, I think she was Sri Lankan or Indian, and her name was Dixit. But it was spelt Dick shit.
Yeah, I
kept
think that's
saying that
the
on air.
infamous Paul Henry from
That's
memory.
it, yeah. And I think he got fired over that. But he said it 4 or 5 times and was really childish about it.
That's right, yeah. Paul Henry, it was emphasising the syllables.
Yeah. I think maybe she might have been like a scientist or some sort of expert as well. So very similar kind of
So
situation.
this is Frontline's predicting real events.
Yeah, this was like maybe 15, 20 years before that.
Oh, goodness. I feel sorry for anyone that is named Coburn.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Another great
That's
McCullough program sketch there.
Thank you. There we go. Yeah, that's what it reminded me of straight away. I went, that's classic. With that, Cammy chases up Mike on the blockade volunteers. He wants to discuss it over a coffee and goes for another hug.
This is the way we've got the Sideshow Bob hair for Dom as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's amazing.
The fact that he's going, we're running out of stickers as well from the Wilderness Society. And we find out later on where they all ended up. And the stickers are $5 a piece too. With that, though, Brooke is being cautious about her retread tyre story laden with bloopers. So she is going to edit it instead of Hugh, which I don't think Brooke is quite across the editing suite there. Like getting the talent to sit on Pro Tools. Now, Showtime prep... Sorry, that's a production joke there.
Although, mind you, I don't know whether David's that much of an expert. I'm assuming you're editing VHS review yourself.
Yeah, I do. But I used Adobe Premiere, which is a lot easier than whatever that machine she was using, an actual, like, one of those tape machine things that actual edit the tapes.
You find it easy?
Editing with the computer, it's super easy once you know the basics. But those machines, like, I very much doubt they would have let her edit her own story, and then also not check it before it was ingested into the system.
I used to use machines like that at university in the media production suite, and so you'd be editing from tape to tape. And, you could get decent at it, but you couldn't do the kind of the nice sweeps and things, transitions between cuts that you can so easily with tools like Adobe.
It's a bit more limited. So, and if you made a mistake,
it was a lot.
If you made a mistake, you had to go back one frame.
Yeah, and you had to overdub.
You'd lose that forever. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
crazy.
Yeah, I think, the results will speak for themselves later in the episode. Let's put it that way.
It is show prep time.
This show's in danger of being seen as a joke, both on air and off. For the next few weeks, we push the hard-hitting angle. Brooke, no more flirt pieces unless they're with politicians. Marty, I want an investigative piece. Something with balls.
Well, there's the professor.
Professor Cool, I can't say it.
Softcock. Professor Softcock. It's not that hard, Em.
That's the problem!
Oh, for God's sake.
Hey, whoa, who is he?
He's a nuclear scientist. We're double-checking the pronunciation.
It's Softcock. Softcock. You people should just grow up.
Is that an order, Mike, or are you just advising us?
That's my favourite line in the episode. It's not that hard. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I do like this scene overall because it seems like everybody cops a roast.
Yeah.
For their misdoings so far.
Now, Sam gets wind of the Wilderness Society blockade and convinces Mike to be part of it and risk getting arrested. Later, Cammy is thrilled that Mike is 100% committed to the environment as he throws away his styrofoam coffee cup.
Yeah. Oh, that was
nice
a great bit too.
Yeah.
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 The bit where they start to worry about whether Mike is going to get arrested and will go to jail, and then whether he'll be raped in jail. It just reminded me of Rick Mail in The Young Ones going, "I can't go to jail. I'm too pretty. I'll get raped."
Yeah, that's right. But
that was my Rick Mail voice there.
Oh, it was fantastic. Hold on. You know what?
Anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, nicely done. With that, Marty's not able to find any major dirt on the developer other than a possible tax stuff, but Sam will give him the right of reply 2 minutes before the show starts, naturally. Meanwhile, on the show...
Let me just say on a personal note, I believe Aldo Piazzolla's proposed destruction of Barangata Forest constitutes an act of environmental vandalism. Management has tried to silence me on this, but tomorrow I shall be joining a blockade in a final attempt to save the forest. I may face arrest, but when it comes to preserving a wilderness area, it's a small price to pay.
Go, Mike.
Coming up after
Stand
the
by
break,
Brooks' retread story.
Vandenberg looks at the high cost of cheap tyres.
Retread tyres may save you bucks, but cost you your life. Shit, I finally got it.
Did that get away?
No.
Are you lying to me?
Yes.
Yeah, those awkward moments.
Oh, dear. That's acting. That's the tension in the air.
Yeah.
The amount of when I've, with my past experience within the radio industry, I still got a lot of bloopers from others.
None from yourself.
Oh, there's a couple of them which I made, but other people's things, but which I got reprimanded for, but well deserved.
It's much more common for that to happen in radio because you're under the time pressure and you're editing and shorter turnaround, and you realise that the pre-recorded interview that's going to air still has that bit in it that you forgot to cut out.
Yeah, all the quote live read unquote that's been pre-recorded because it's part of a network, and then you realise because it's on air in 5 minutes and you got multiple of them to edit, and then you discover that there's been a retake and you used the wrong one, and it gets 3/4 of the way through it, and suddenly it's like, oh no, we'll scratch that.
Yeah.
But not using that word.
Yep. Also, there's a good bit in that Mike's piece to camera where he says management's tried to stop me, and the nice cut to the auto cue, which actually says those exact words on there. So it's all it's all garbage.
That's a good spot.
Yeah.
Next morning in the office, Mike discreetly races to return a missed call from Cammy with his door coated in the Wilderness Society stickers.
Can I just point out Dom's Audrey Hepburn look here?
Yeah.
She's wearing a scarf, a headscarf, sunglasses, and a lovely sort of 60s poochy dress, and looking very Audrey Hepburn. So the outfit, the cavalcade of outfits and hairstyles continues.
What a fashionista.
She certainly
She
is. She must spend hours and hours getting ready for work every day. Like, she'd have to get up at 5 a.m. to get that sideshow bob hair going, I would think.
Now, Emma calls Mike away to get ready to go on location for the blockade. Mike suggests to fly. But while Marty and Stu shit stir him. So, because, yeah. Now, at the national park, though...
What do we want?
A national park!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
A national park!
When do we want it?
Now!
So far, the blockade has been peaceful, but police are threatening to move in on us at any minute. What do we want?
A national
park! When do we want it? Now!
What is the deal
so
with
cringe.
them not joining in with him? That's weird.
The only way that I can think that would make sense is they were told not to chant after he starts talking, but took that very literally, so that when he starts to chant, they're like, we were supposed to be silent, right?
Touche, yeah. I'd say that would be it.
I do love the last line of that scene, which is Mike saying off camera, Kate, speak to them.
Yeah, and then they cover him with the insect repellent as well.
Yeah. Well, he cares for the environment.
Yeah.
With CFC, CFCs have been removed by cans by then.
I think so, yeah.
So it's,
but there's still kind of a negative vibe about them, isn't there? Spray cans and that in that era.
Yeah. Now, Jan and Emma are planning the publicity for the blockade results. And doesn't this go down a treat?
And the photographer is coming round tonight to shoot Mike and the nuclear scientist, Professor Soft.
Oh, not you too. Come on. Come on.
Professor, sorry.
Yes, you can.
No, I can't do it. It's too hard.
Yes, you can, Jan. Come on.
Oh, Professor Soft.
Sam's really having fun with that.
Jan eventually gets the cock out. So.
Oh, my God.
Thank you. Now, while Mike is being irrigated, the protest has already started. Mike joins the front of the protest only for him to be pushed into the arms of the police and get arrested. So I've watched that clip over and over again, and then, yeah, it's
he
just
is clearly
woman,
pushed.
A woman is just like, ugh. So, he's the sacrifice.
I feel like the Wilderness Society kind of resent Mike's presence, you know, because they're kind of lefty greenies. They're not going to be Frontline fans, and they're going to be really annoyed that he's there, you know?
Yeah.
Even though he's bringing attention to the cause?
Well, but they're cynical about it, and as things turn out, they're quite right to be cynical about commercial current affairs.
Sam confirms that Mike's been arrested but not beaten up. Disappointing, Jan. So I was like, oh. But we do see Mr. Piazzolla's office with Mr. Piazzolla. They discover Frontline has been trying to do some digging but with no luck, though his assistant has found out that Mike has a prior conviction.
Indecent exposure?
It's not as bad as you think, Sam.
How can indecent exposure not be as bad as I think?
It was 6 years ago in Perth. I needed a leak. I couldn't find a toilet. It was dark. I didn't know there were school kids in the bus.
School kids?
Year sevens.
Year sevens. Like, could have been worse. It could have been different indecent. Thank you.
At least you didn't go with George Michael for that.
Oh.
Now, also, just quickly with the scene previously in Aldo Piazzolla's office, I'm sure you noticed that Aldo didn't say a word.
Yeah.
In that, yeah, just an evil cackle, I suppose you could call it.
Is he one of Santo's uncles or relatives? I was
That's
wondering who he might be.
That's what I was thinking. It'd be a distant relative for sure.
Yeah.
Well, you see, there is a thanks in the credits to a Vito Chilaro.
Well, there you
let's
go.
just go with that. Yeah.
So quite possibly.
Now, Marty and Stu are pantsless as Mike steps out in Sam's office. Yeah. Now, in the studio, Sam makes Mike read an apology. In the ad break, Professor Softcock arrives for his interview.
So, Professor Softcock, you're saying that there's
Real danger. Despite being underground.
Me too, Gamma 3.
So French claims that we have absolutely nothing to worry about are completely false.
Completely.
Professor Softcock, thanks for your time.
Well, disturbing.
Oh, you got to hand it to him. He's cool in the crisis.
Norwegian nuclear expert, Professor Gustav Hardcock.
The look on his face.
Yeah, that's some proper acting right there, along with Mike having to swallow his words and deliver that apology, and him looking so forlorn as he throws to the break. That's a bit of your Gold Logie nominated acting.
He's lost all chance with Cammy there, hasn't he? By delivering that apology.
I didn't get the name in time because I completely forgot, but Professor Softcock is the actor, is the guy out of Crackerjack.
Yeah.
You know, the driver at the beginning.
Mm.
You know what I mean. The one that's just in his own world, who's the ultimate player.
I don't know. I was too distracted by Mike's gaff and thinking too much about the infamous Sandy Roberts slip-up.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. Yes.
I don't suppose you got the clip of that, have you?
No, I don't.
Oh, you should
unfortunately.
drop it
Why
in.
not recreate it for us, Daniel?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, basically Sandy was trying to introduce somebody by the name of Leanne Dick.
Oh.
And accidentally introduced her as Leanne Cock.
There was someone on British television who had a conversation with former Chancellor of the Exchequer, Jeremy Hunt. And, and yep, we know.
Gotta be careful.
The footage exists of them saying that word that starts with C.
Mm.
And indeed he was. But he's no longer in government, so yay!
Yeah, I think it's a well-worn media rule that you never stop in the middle of the word country.
Yes.
Never ever.
Yeah. Always have a working O letter when you're playing on stage. Countdown.
I've always said that anyone who has the surname of Peacock never name their child Drew.
No.
Does anyone want to know?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you, David.
Yes.
We'll acknowledge it.
Yeah, okay, cool. No one's going to say it. Fine.
And if you're ever typing the word count, make sure there's an O in it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Or get your head taken, do a selfie in front of the countdown sign at the ABC, not blocking the O in count.
Oh, who did that recently?
Is that right, Danelich?
Yes.
Yeah. Well then, but speaking of curse words and stuff, you ready for the little montage of how many times softcock was mentioned?
Do we have to all guess? Do we have to guess how many times? Or try and put our counters, do a little clicker.
It's certainly double digits, I reckon.
50. I'm going with 50 softcocks.
I'm going to guess 15.
I'm going to say 39.
This is throughout the episode.
I reckon
Someone
18.
go 69.
So what did you say, Daniel?
18.
18. David, you said 15. And
I
Kim?
said 39 for some reason. I don't know why.
What did you say?
I reckon it's no more than 20.
I went with 50.
All right.
50 softcocks.
Get ready. All right, listen to how many softcocks there are.
Softcock.
Softcock. Softcock. Softcock. Softcock. Softcock. Softcock.
Softcock.
Softcock. Softcock. Softcock. Softcock. Softcock. Softcock. Softcock. Hardcock.
3-1 into sorry, you off. David is the
I
closest.
think I was it 15 or 16? I counted.
Yeah.
16.
I'm closest without going over.
Wow.
16.
Wow.
Yeah, 16 soft and 1 hard.
And what is David's prize? Does he get the fictional Tim Tams?
Oh, yes, he does.
I think he will,
Congratulations.
yeah.
Yeah, you get the fictional Tim Tams.
There you go. They're lingonberry flavoured.
Oh, nice. They're a big hit here. We always bring some with us when we come. They go nuts for them.
Yeah. Not the IKEA nuts and bolts. You've got to
No.
assemble them
No,
in time
they have
together.
those.
Well, that concludes Frontline Season 2, Episode 11, and the Champagne Comedy Podcast, Episode 64.
Well, hang on. That's almost it. I've got a little musical finale, if you can get that arranged.
Yeah, but David's got a thing. So no, it's all right. What's going on?
Well, this won't take too long. Basically, I've arranged a little musical finale. It's a couple of well-experienced singers who are here to promote their album, as featured in VHS Review, episode 35, 100 Songs to Sing in the Shower.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big warm welcome for the Howie Brothers.
Oh, you
Take
have got
your
it.
partners for the pride of Erin.
Come and make eyes at me down at the
Hang on, where are you guys going?
So sorry, I got something on, Daniel.
No, come back.
Yeah, I need to go to the supermarket.
Yeah, God, jeez, I've got nothing.
Yeah, and we can't say, oh, we're going to go. I have to wash my hair because we don't want to be washing our hair. Might have to sing something.
This is a recent op shop find because you don't forget a title like 100 songs to sing in the shower, and when you come across it, you buy it.
100 songs on one CD.
No, 2 CDs.
2 CDs. Oh God.
You get the second CD free. Because I don't know if you remember what you said in the episode, David.
I think I said I don't think so.
In terms of sheer quantity, you said nope, I hate it.
That's right.
But you also said in terms of sheer quantity, they ain't got nothing on these guys.
Yeah. How much can I pay extra just to get the one disc?
you know what?
So yeah, it's got the original price tag on here. It's from Leading Edge Music. The person either paid $29.95 or the VIP member price of $27.70. I didn't pay anywhere near that. Only $2.
Goodness, you know, I would have preferred singing in the shower. I would have done the theme from the Alcan commercial. We are the boys from Alcans, and that's a VHS review reference.
I'm not familiar with that. That's the Alcan. So they had a jingle.
Yeah, they did.
So
we are the boys from Alcan.
The ad I put up didn't have the jingle in it. It was
no, but I'm gonna have to.
I think it was the same guys.
Yeah, same company.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Howie brothers, I think, are still together as well. Their stuff is on YouTube, and they're much older now.
Yes.
But I think they're still going.
Yes, I went and had a look at their website and had a look at their gig guide. So their next performance is at the Park Lane Bowling Club at Wangaratta on August the 16th.
Wow.
And then after that, this might give you some idea as to what their audience is like. Warwick Aged Care, the Brodrib Home, Toowoomba, Fairhaven Aged Care, Maryborough, Palm Lake Care, Bargara, Borroran Community Hall, Borroran,
that place,
Carinity, Kepnock Grove, Bundaberg.
Following in the footsteps of In Excess there.
Yeah.
We had, Jive Bunny. We had Hooked on Classics. Basically, this is the Howie brothers here are doing basically that sort of thing, but with way older songs.
All public
and
domain.
they all start with that sound of canned applause, and basically it's a whole bunch of medleys in all of these dance sets. So the first 2 tracks are Pride of Erin. The next 2 tracks are the Foxtrot, Evening 3-Step, Barn Dance, and it's all introduced. The guy that does the voiceovers there is a radio veteran, the king of overnight radio, the late Keith McGowan. Basically, there's an hour and a half worth of 100 songs, and they all sound like that opening 30 seconds I tortured you with.
All right. Well.
So should I send this to you to complete your collection, David?
I'm good. Thanks, though.
Oh no, the Swedish Postal Service is on strike right now. No point, Daniel.
Well, again, thank you so much for coming on the show, David M. Green, and check out VHS Review on your socials and just Google it. On Alta Vista. So
yes, it's big on Alta Vista.
Feel free to follow all that stuff on social media because it is freaking hilarious. And
thank you.
He does all. Yeah, you do all the tape watching, so we don't have to.
Exactly, but then you do have to watch the episodes. So
yeah. Do watch them all completely, and then donate to Patreon so you can keep
hit
going.
Like and subscribe and become a Patreon because it's absolutely worth it.
Cheers, Alison.
Well,
that's all right.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, thank you for coming on, David. And so go to IKEA and buy some stuff. Buy us what do you call it? Fudge. Souvenir. There we go.
Funnily enough, there isn't really an IKEA anywhere near here, but that we did go to the Swedish Bunnings, which is called Bauhaus, and I posted a picture of me standing outside that with some funny labels on the side of the building.
Any relation to the German artistic movement of the 20s?
That's what I thought too, but no, it looks more like a Bunnings than anything from that school of art.
Just quickly, what's the one that you were standing in front of the other day? Infart?
Yeah, that's it. That's the one.
Oh, that's it. That's the one. Oh, okay.
Yeah. See, they don't have the snags out the front. They've got the infart here in Sweden.
Infart is entry or something, isn't it? Or
I believe so.
That's what it means?
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And the exit's called outfart.
Ausfahrt. That's probably German.
So I guess the fart part just refers to the passage. It doesn't signify direction.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called the colon. All right.
We're learning a lot about the etymology of words here today.
Yeah, I think we are, yeah. All right, well, thanks very much, Alice and Daniel and Kim, for coming on. Much appreciated. My name's Matt. Thank you for listening. Catch you next episode. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Champagne Comedy Podcast, created by fans for the fans. For more information on this podcast, please visit champagnecomedy.com. Produced by Matt Fulton Productions, mattfulton.com.au.
Soft cock.
Soft cock. Soft cock. Soft cock. Soft cock. Soft cock. Soft cock.
Soft cock.
Soft cock. Soft cock. Soft cock. Soft cock. Soft cock. Soft cock. Soft cock. Hard cock.
Definitely 16.
Plus, I didn't laugh, Matt.
Huh? No,
I'm not laughing, Matt.
I'm not laughing either.
Fine. Sorry, jeez.